Despite Israeli forces intensifying their assault on Gaza and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan increasing his rhetoric against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government, Ankara is resisting calls to cut off vital oil deliveries to Israel. Welcome, everyone! In today's video, we're going to tell you Turkey sanctioned Israel with no more oil. From the Turkish port of Ceyhan, supertankers continue to carry oil to Israel.
Pipelines from Azerbaijan and Iraqi Kurdistan end at the Mediterranean port, making Turkey an important oil supplier to Israel. But before we proceed the further video, if you're new to this channel, remember, go ahead and to hit the bell icon to subscribe so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. The majority of Israel's oil demands are provided by Azerbaijan or Iraqi Kurdistan, says London Energy Club expert Mehmet Ogutcu. According to the most recent estimates, Azerbaijan supplies almost 40 of Israel's oil needs. It travels all the way to Ceyhan, then to an Israeli port where it is transferred to one of the refineries, Ogutcu elaborates. However, as the death toll from Israel's invasion of Gaza rises, calls for Turkey to cut off oil deliveries are intensifying. Earlier this month, during a meeting with his Turkish counterpart, Hakan Fidan, in Ankara, Iran's foreign minister Hossein Amirabdollahian and encouraged countries supplying to Israel to reduce their supplies or request Fidan rejected. Turkey and Iran set aside their differences as the Gaza situation provides common ground. Despite Erdogan's escalating rhetoric against Israel, oil transfers from Turkey to Israel continue, and there are also doubts about how effective any embargo imposed by Turkey would be. I don't think Israel will suffer in any way because oil is abundant in global markets, says Ogutcu. Even if Turkey cuts off Israel's supply, he argues they may import it from Brazil or Canada or some of the African nations where they have good links. If I'm not mistaken, Israeli consumption is around 225,000 barrels per day. That is not a significant sum. It is easily obtained through long-term contracts or on the spot market, he continues. However, if Turkey wishes to strike a blow against Israel, it has other options. Turkey might shut down the Kurasik radar station in Malakay, Turkey, which is critical to NATO's missile defense system, and as far as we know, also protects Israel's airspace, says Ilan Yuskal, an international affairs expert and columnist for Turkey's Kize Dalga news portal. So far, Erdogan has chosen none of these possibilities. He has to please his audience. Therefore, he makes difficult statements. Yuskal explains it's not hurting anyone. At the end of the day, it's just words. Turkey has come under fire for designating Hamas as a liberation organization. Erdogan continues to engage in anti-Israel propaganda, even going so far as to refer to Hamas as an organization fighting for liberation, while personally attacking Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. Despite this, the acts of the Turkish president continue to be more cautious. Erdogan reaffirmed that Turkey's diplomatic relations with Israel would remain open when he made the announcement that Turkey's ambassador would be recalled from Israel for negotiations this month. Erdogan also stated that Turkish efforts to liberate Hamas hostages would continue. The rhetoric is harsh, but the tangible deeds are not gallop delay. An associate fellow at Chatham House in London remarked, at least in terms of the bilateral relationship, I feel that the point that is being made is that if you destroy bridges, you will not be able to execute the diplomatic role as successfully as you would like to. Since the beginning of the confrontation between Israel and Hamas, United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken made his first trip to Ankara, which took place on Monday. Blinken's statement that third-party governments were working to achieve the release of the hostages was an implied acknowledgement of Turkey's efforts in this regard. Erdogan is scheduled to appear at a summit of Arab leaders being held in Riyadh in an effort to find a solution to the issue. However, Dile is quick to point out that Ankara's nuanced approach toward Israel may have certain boundaries. Turkey's efforts to mend fences with Israel are hampered by the country's ties to Hamas. If Turkey is convinced that the diplomatic channel is not functioning, and if other regional nations, not only Turkey, reach the same conclusion that Israel is not paying heed to this diplomatic track or calling for a truce, then we may see countries adopting measures. Deliveries says, with Erdog's substantial religious constituency and the center of growing anti-Israel protests, the Turkish leader will undoubtedly face more pressure to adopt a tougher position if the violence persists. According to the report, Energy and Natural Resources Minister Alparslan Beirut has canceled his trip to Israel for bilateral talks on natural gas exploration and pipeline development in the eastern Mediterranean. There has been no formal rejection of this report as of yet. Previously, it was planned to deliver eastern Mediterranean gas to Europe via Turkey. President Erdogan said in September, during his visit to the United States for the United Nations General Assembly meetings, that Turkey and Israel would launch collaborative energy drilling operations in the eastern Mediterranean. He also mentioned a deal reached with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to construct an energy transmission line to Europe. According to President Erdogan, our current overall trade volume with Israel is $9.5 billion. We have secured an early agreement to raise it to at least $15 billion in the first step. Collaborations in energy can take us to much more diversified destinations. Israel has proven gas reserves of 750 billion cubic meters. Israel generated around 22 billion cubic meters of gas in 2022, with 10 billion cubic meters supplied to Egypt and Jordan. Following Russia's loss of influence in the EU market, Israel is emphasizing gas shipments to the EU. Following the exit of the United States, the Eastern Mediterranean gas pipeline, which had been under negotiation between the Republic of Cyprus, Greece, and Israel since 2014, was canceled in 2021. Following the termination, Israel began looking for alternate gas export routes to Europe, with Turkey standing out due to its geographical location. President Erdogan highlighted his concerns about the ongoing fighting in Gaza at a speech to his party's group meeting on October 25. He called it one of the most heinous acts in history, emphasizing the large number of victims, particularly among children, mothers, and the elderly. He further stated that while many Western countries regard Hamas as a terrorist organization, Turkey views Hamas as a liberation and resistance organization rather than a terrorist organization. That's for today's video. Turkey has no problem with the state of Israel. Nonetheless, it does not condone Israel's conduct and harshness and disapproves of its behavior, which it regards as more akin to that of an organization than a state. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos from our channel. Thanks for watching and see you all soon.